All right. So I know we have a small group today. There's like a ton of things going on. There's a bunch of treasurer trainings and whatnot and like career service events. So I'm gonna try and keep this meeting relatively short. I'm just gonna go through some news. I'm actually not even gonna go through the ETF changes, just the stock voting process and how that works. Some calendar updates, and then I'm just gonna go through a quick demo of how Teams is gonna work for everyone. So again, relatively short meeting today. So just some things in the news. One thing that's not on here, but I thought it was kind of relevant to talk about is the New York clock. I'm sure like a lot of people have been seeing that. It's been all over Instagram lately. But it like for those of you who don't know, it tells the time that the climate change is going to be irreversible. So obviously this is sparking a lot of talk about sustainability, even though it's already been a big theme of COVID. So two interesting things are going on soon. So the UN General Assembly will be September 30th to October 1st. So definitely take a look at some information about that. You can look at some things from Financial Times and from the Wall Street Journal, but some things that they're looking to discuss are the supply chain. So there's like been a lot of pressure to tighten environmental and social standards in companies' supply chains. And they're also going to talk about how they're going to balance global poverty, health, and climate change all at the same time. Like obviously these are things that are important and that are part of the Sustainable Development Goals, but they're not really sure how they're going to be able to kind of take this on all at the same time because they're all super relevant and super pressing, obviously. So that will be really interesting. So definitely take a look at that. And then the article on the bottom is still talking about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal in the General Assembly, but an entire group of CFOs, I think it was like 50 plus, from very large like Fortune 500 companies came together and basically published a framework to help companies make decisions in corporate finance and investing that rely on, again, the Sustainable Development Goals that we report on and use in our ESG fund. So these two articles are really great. And again, just for people who don't know, you do have access to Financial Times and Wall Street Journal through Bentley. You just sign in with your Bentley email and then it will bring you to like the SSO page and you just sign in with your Bentley credentials. So you do have access to all of these things. So just to get quickly into the stock and voting process, what we're doing this year is we're going to have about 1 to 2 pitches per week. So votes are due this Sunday night before the following general body meeting. So you'll have the pitch on Tuesday. A link will be sent out to vote through Teams, and then you have to submit it by that Sunday. There's going to be a password, so like only people that were at the meeting and that have watched the stock pitch can vote. And the survey is really easy. It just asks you whether you think the stock should be included in the portfolio and then a very short blurb as to why you voted how you did. We obviously highly encourage like going on FactSet, going on Bloomberg, or like looking up some things in the news to try and formulate your own opinion and not just, take everything that the analyst said as complete, as objective truths or whatnot. So we do encourage that, but again, it's very short, but does have to be. And I think what we're going to do is we might send out a calendar invite for Sunday as like a reminder, like, oh, hey, like, please submit this by this time, just so you guys have in your calendar and you could be reminded of it. Are there any questions about that kind of the process, like how the Google form will work or anything? No. Okay. It's very straightforward. So just some like, best practices, I guess. So obviously, like, try and listen and pay attention to the entirety of the pitches. I know they're long and I know they're on Zoom, so it's a little different than it has been in past years. But we're also going to post, so all the stock pitches will be recorded and posted on the YouTube account. So if you can't come or if you like miss something, you want to go back, they'll also be available to you. And at the end of today, I'm going to walk you guys through Teams and kind of how we set it up. So the stock pitches will also be there, so you can just look through them yourself in the presentations in your free time or like when you're filling out the voting. Then as always, like, please ask questions. I highly encourage you to write questions down during the presentation so that you kind of have some And again, we are a student-run org, so like as analysts will, know a lot on their pitch and whatnot. They obviously don't know everything, so that's also why we're having the voting till Sunday. If you have a really great question and you want it to get answered, the analyst will try and find it for you and send it over if you don't want to look it up yourself. And again, I kind of already mentioned this, do your own research. And you should, and if anyone has any questions on like, because I know some people have been emailing like, how do I get access to FactSet? How do I get access to Bloomberg? Just let us know. You can contact the trading room to get your logins for Bloomberg and FactSet. But if you have any trouble with that, like, again, let us know. I think the Teams is like mostly set up, but we're going to put more resources on that starting this week. So we could also put the directions on how to download FactSet and Bloomberg on your computer, get the web access there. So just a general, like what you should be looking for. So obviously our club is a little bit different than just a regular investment group would be. So while yes, you should be thinking about profitability and fundamentals and like competitive advantage and everything that you would normally look at for a company, the big picture question and the most important one that you should ask first before you're even looking at kind of the fundamentals and the pricing is, does this company fit into our investment criteria and into our ESG profile? Because that's basically the way the analysts are looking at them, right? So, we have screens that they use, and we have this ESG profile that was sent out in the past couple of presentations. So analysts shouldn't just be saying, oh, this company looks really good in value. Let me go see if I could kind of morph the ESG criteria to fit what ours is. It should be more, okay, let me look at the best companies in my sector that are doing well in terms of environmental or social or governance, and then seeing, okay, is this a good time to buy it based on their fundamentals? So that's kind of how we want the general body to be looking at it as well. So just kind of keep that in the back of your head that maybe, yes, the company is really great and it's a really good buy right now, but if it doesn't strictly follow our investment criteria and our ESG profile, then like it should be an automatic no into the fund. So some other things, will this company, so this is kind of more like besides ESG, will this company weather over the long run? Okay. How will this company drive future financial growth and equal positive societal impact? What are your hesitations and why? So again, this goes to like asking the analyst questions. You can email them throughout the entire week before the Sunday voting is due, looking up things yourself. Because again, there could be something that like you saw in the news or you saw that they didn't exactly touch on that is like very important to the process. And again, yeah, same along those lines, like what else would you want to know to make the decision? So that's pretty much it for the stock voting. I know it's pretty straightforward, but does anyone have any questions? No? Okay.
I have one that's somewhat related.
Yeah. Awesome.
When are the sector meetings going to start?
So that is, I'll just go over that right now. There we go. It was 2 slides ahead of me.
Sorry.
No worries. So sector meetings are going to start next week, and these are all the times that they're at. But energy is having, so everyone's starting next week except energy. They're starting this Wednesday. So for the future, they'll be meeting Mondays at 8:30, but this week they're just having theirs Wednesday 8:30 because they couldn't do it on Monday. And then everyone else will be having them at these times. So I know that we had sent out surveys to gauge your interest, and I think the healthcare sector actually sent out surveys to people that said they were interested to ask them what times work for them. But obviously you might have to change your sector based on the times that just work for you. So but if anyone like at any time can't make any of these and obviously really wants to be a part of a sector, just let us know. There are definitely some flexibility in the times. Some people gave a few options. These are just kind of the ones that we came up with. So again, if if you're looking at this, you're I literally cannot go to any of them, or I really, really wanted to be a part of financials, but I have a night bomb on Monday. Just reach out to anyone on eBoard or the actual sector analysts, and they could definitely work with you. Any other questions? I think that was Matt, right? And do you have any other questions on that, or is that good? No? Okay. Let me just go back. Okay. So I know like I've been talking about the ESG profile and we kind of went over it. And so the next general body meeting will be our last general body meeting before all the pitches start. So the pitches start, in 2 weeks from now. So that general body meeting will be pretty much doing a deeper dive into our ESG profile, and kind of what that means and our themes and whatnot. We actually have an advisory board meeting. So for those of you that went to the first meeting, we have an advisory board of a bunch of industry professionals that help us out. So we have that this Friday, and they're going to kind of critique our ESG profile and our themes and whatnot, so that it will be absolutely solidified for next Tuesday's meeting when we present it to you guys. So, but one thing we did just want to point out that we changed. We did an in-depth analysis about the MSCI ratings and found out that the having BB only a BB plus like rating would only incorporate 78 I think percent of all of the companies listed US public equities, which is way too many. That's not really us being selective. So we changed it to triple B plus rating minimum to get into the portfolio, and that narrowed it down to the top 50 percentile of companies. So we thought that was better. And again, we're going to explain this a little bit more next week. It'll probably be a little bit of a longer meeting, but we just wanted to give that update to you guys so that you guys knew. Okay. Yeah, these are sector meetings, talked about that. Some other things. So I guess I talked about this, but sector meetings and pitches start, I said next week. Sorry. Sector meetings start next week, pitches start in 2 weeks. The first team to pitch will be energy. So that's why they had to have their meeting this week, because they wanted to kind of get everyone up to speed on that. The Microsoft Teams invite. So I sent that out probably at like 12:30 today. So if you guys just want to look in your Bentley emails and make sure you got that, I'll give everyone like a few minutes, but if anyone can just tell me whether you got that, or if someone didn't get it, like please let me know. I'm looking through the names right now, and I feel like I kind of recognize a lot of your names that I manually put these in this morning. So I think we should be good, but yeah, just please let me know if you didn't get that, because that's really, really important. I'm going to actually like close this presentation out and walk you guys through the teams right now, I think. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions about anything before I kind of stop sharing this and open up teams and kind of show you guys our vision for that? No? Okay. Awesome. Let me just stop sharing for a second. Okay. All right. So I hope some people are familiar with Teams, but I know it's not something that we necessarily use all the time at Bentley, and it's kind of a newer thing. So you should have gotten an invite, again, like I mentioned, in your email, and it's really just best to download this on your computer, and then you could set notifications. So like every time we put something in this general kind of post, you'll get it. We wanted to do this because we feel like Bentley has been sending out a million bajillion emails. Obviously, with like everything going on, there's just so much communication that needs to be had, and we don't want to keep sending you guys a bunch of stuff. So we just thought this would be easier. So all of our things that we would normally be sending in emails, we're just going to throw in this general channel right here, which all of you guys are a part of. And then there's also files here for you guys. So honestly, like that's kind of why I wanted to end the meeting today a little bit early, is for you guys to just like take some time and maybe like look through some of these things. So this is kind of where like all of our templates or analyst materials, just things that we've been working on that we want to share with you guys will be. So I know we had mentioned like the analyst training program that we ran this summer. We're not going to do it this semester just because we already did it in the summer, but we are going to run it next semester. But for those of you that are really interested and want to go back and look at those presentations and look at the YouTube videos, this document that says YouTube links will have the links to all of that, just because they're private videos. So because we don't want like anyone to just be able to go on our YouTube and look at all that stuff. So these are all the links to individual things. So this is this year's analyst training program. This is a really good video. One of our advisors, Jens Pierce, he's the CEO of Mirova. He gave us a really good talk about ESG investing and thematic integration. So that's on there as well. These are links to all the general body meetings if you weren't able to attend. And then these are last year's stock pitches if you want to go and watch those. So that's there for you guys. There's also the annual report. I know it's also on our website, but I threw that in there. Over here, we have all of the PowerPoints from the analyst training program. I need to like organize it a little bit better. But these are from last year and this year. So you can look through each of them because we have a new e-board, so they change it up a little bit. What else is in here that's important? Let's see. So, we also have a lot of our like new ESG research that the e-board has just been working on, like all of our thematic integration. So I know I mentioned this a few times, but last year, our ESG profile and kind of our ESG integration was a little weak. We were a new club. It wasn't very developed. So this year and this entire summer, we've been working very hard to kind of solidify that. So these are all the things that we've been working on. You could just take a look at them if you're obviously like none of this is required, but if you're really interested and you want to know more about what we do kind of behind the scenes, there's just so many files here for you guys to look at. And sorry. Let's see. Oh, and then if anyone is curious about our investor policy statement, that I also put that there for you guys. And then the general body meeting slides is obviously just all the slides that we've shared. It also has all of last year's and the year before. Like, I don't expect you guys to care and really look that deep into it, but if you ever wanted to and you want to go back, then they're there for you as well. So that's kind of it for the general channel. We'll be putting stuff in here a lot. We'll be organizing it. We'll be putting articles in here for you guys to read if you want to. But then you have the other channels. So these are all the sector ones. You don't have to like be invited to them. You can just look at them like they're open for everyone. So say, you decide, okay, I'm free Monday at 7:30 and I'm really interested in financials. You would just go to this channel and then they'll be posting their own updates, their own files, like their specific pitches that they're working on, their financial models, like all that stuff, so that you could actually look at what they're doing. You could even, these are all shared docs. So like, you click on them and it's through the cloud and through like SharePoint and stuff. So like everyone can collaborate and work at them at the same time if you're actually helping them with something. And they'll be setting, each sector should be setting them up pretty similarly. Like it will be like current stock pitches, research, like et cetera, with their folders, and posting updates there. And the other thing is, it's also really nice because instead of like going to Zoom, you can just go immediately into whatever Microsoft's Meet is. I don't even know. I think it's literally just called Microsoft Teams, like their Zoom version, and put it right on the calendar here and everything will show. So like all the sector meetings will be right there for you, and you just click on it when you're inside this Teams with this little like Meet function up here. So you don't have to like keep going back and forth. And it's also integrated directly with your Bentley Outlook too. So you can put them right on your calendar. It's like very, very easy. So, I'm assuming, I know we're all like kind of younger, we're pretty decent with technology. Like I think everyone should be able to figure this out pretty well. I just kind of want to show you like the layout and kind of our vision for it. Oh, the other thing too is there's a chat function. So like instead of like emailing back and forth and stuff, if you guys want to just chat anyone on eBoard or the analysts as well, it'll be really, really easy to do so. And like when you download on your computer, you just get little pop-up notifications. So it's also like, it's so much easier for me and for everyone else to kind of see these chats than like going in our email, a couple times a day or whatnot. So that was really all I wanted to show on Teams. But does anyone have any questions about, Teams specifically, or like really anything at all? No. Okay. So I'm gonna let you guys go, and you could just look again, like if you want to spend some time, look through some of the team's documents, kind of familiarize yourself with it. And oh, one thing is, so because Energy is having their meeting this week and not next week, they're gonna use Zoom because they like already kind of set it up. So if you are interested in going to that meeting, the Zoom link is on the general body slide that I just sent out, like under sector meetings, it's right there. But in that channel, they'll also post a Zoom link for you guys today. So like if you're interested in that, you just go to the energy channel on Teams and you can see the Zoom link for tomorrow. So awesome. Any other questions? Okay. Great. All right. Well, everyone have a good day. We'll see you next Tuesday. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there. I just have one question. I'm wondering if you could send me another invite to the Microsoft